Welcome back to Interview with a Bothan. Just like Eli Vanto, I too crave validation when I successfully make a spreadsheet. I'm one of your hosts, Lou.
And I'm Lenny. And I don't know how to make a spreadsheet, so...
You should learn.
I should.
I love VLOOKUP.
Well, I don't know what that is.
It's my favorite thing.
Wow.
Well, it'll make your grade sheets really easy. Except you work on docs, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, gross. How you doing?
Yeah.
You know,
been better. Sent a lot of emails today.
You have an email job.
I do have an email job.
I also have an email job.
Yeah. I have 2 email jobs.
I haven't been doing my email job.
No.
Maybe I shouldn't put that. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But to be fair, I was busy.
You were busy. Why were you so busy, Lou?
Oh my god, I did a conference on Wednesday. It'll be like 2 months before this is released. So I guess back in October, I did a conference for heroes in contemporary popular culture. I talked about Bria Theron and the Han Solo movie. And someone audibly gasped, which was based.
It was beautiful.
It was wonderful.
Like, every time I attended the conference, too, because I gotta support my boy.
He also fucking, edited my script at midnight the night before.
Yeah. And it was beautiful. Like, Lou said that they were gonna talk about the Han Solo trilogy, and this man just eyes lit up, started rocking forward in his seat. It made my day, honestly, which I needed because I had to leave the presentation early to go to a meeting. Yeah, I'm in a union.
You work for the union.
I work for a union. It was a union-related meeting. Indeed.
Okay, well today we're talking about Thrawn Treason, which is the 3rd book in the Empire trilogy. We've done 2 whole Thrawn trilogies.
Yeah, I've read...
Isn't that fucking crazy?
It's crazy. I've read more Timothy Zahn than any other author this year.
That's wild.
I know. And we're going to keep reading Timothy Zahn.
Yeah, only 3 more.
Yeah.
But, it's fine. And then we'll get to read some John Jackson Miller.
Yippee!
So, Treason was published on July 23rd, 2019. Obviously, it's by Timothy Zahn, and even more obviously, it's published by Del Rey, as everything is nowadays. Spoilers ahead! For what? I don't fucking know. Probably the Thrawn books and Gavin Darklighter.
Just existing.
Just existing. I love him.
I know.
I think about him every day.
Yeah. Also, we'll probably spare some time to discuss the relevant episodes of Rebels. Or maybe. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. Did you watch the...
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I did some... My homework for this was skip ahead in Rebels.
Yeah, it was...
And
yeah, is that weird?
It is weird. And I rate notes. I cannot reconcile the 2 Thrawns. I just cannot.
Well, and okay. I was literally talking to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Thomas. Funnily, everyone's named Thomas.
Apparently.
Both of the guys who gave me their emails, both named Tom.
Fascinating.
And then there's Thomas.
Our
Thomas.
Shout out Thomas.
Who does our
music
and is also in India. They're more. I know more Thomases now than I know Michaels. And I don't know. I once worked with 7 mics.
It's a lot of mics.
Okay, you ready to do the plot? What tea are you drinking?
Your fancy black tea.
It's a
Kumi.
It's the Kumi St. Petersburg. So it's bergamot and orange.
Delicious.
And I'm drinking the Irresistible brand, which is the Provigo Metro shit. Lemon and ginger.
That shit goes hard.
It's so fucking good. It's the best lemon and ginger tea.
Is this a tea podcast now?
It's a tea and knitting podcast? Oh my god, I finished the heel on my second Bad Batch sock.
The socks that you hate?
Yeah, the socks I hate. No offense to the woman who designed them, I guess, but...
No, these...
Because I liked all the other socks.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the More Machine Than Man socks, and I really liked and now we're going to have to put all these Ravelry patterns in the show notes.
Lol.
And I liked the Droid socks, and the Disturbance and the Force socks are just kind of a simple cable. But they were fun to work up.
Mm-hmm.
I have not finished the decreases, but I did the turn.
The heel looks cool.
I hate it.
Okay.
It was a pain in the ass to make.
Yeah.
Not as pain in the ass as these, but... Because these heels are supposed to be entirely decorative, but they felt.
They felt?
Well, yeah, because sock heels. If
Felt,
you're not doing short rows.
Right.
And I don't do short rows. But yeah, it felt really bad.
Damn.
Which is fine, because I wear them with regular shoes, which I probably shouldn't, but what the... Okay. No, we've talked about socks for a concerning amount of time, considering this is supposed to be our plot interview. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Hell
right.
yeah.
So, this book takes place after the events of Rebels Season 4, Episode 10, and before Rebels season 4, episode 11. I think it's funny. That's just, it's between two episodes of the same season.
What's the last episode of season 4? Is 12?
No, because there's like 4 more episodes after this. I don't know. Should I look that up right now?
Oh, if you want. I like that you're the lookup person. It's so fun.
It's fun. More episodes. There are 15 episodes in Rebels season 4.
Okay.
But 16, because there's Family Reunion and Farewell parts 1 and 2. But they kind of are
the same.
Just like the same thing. Yeah, I stayed up until 2 last night watching these, which was a mistake. Anyway, so yeah, what in Rebels, sorry, this is like not pertinent information, but it kind of is. I don't know, it's fun because we see Thrawn being informed that he has to go to this meeting that happens in this book in Rebels. So that's a fun tie-in. So Thrawn, if you watch Rebels, you know that he's invested in this TIE Defender program, which is on Lothal, which is, a target for rebel activity. And he's leaving Arinda Price in charge of the situation, which Karen Farrow hates because she thinks Arinda Price is irrational and bad at her job. And Karen Farrow is not wrong.
To be fair, Thrawn also thinks Arinda Price is
terrible,
irrational and bad at her job.
Yeah, I don't think, Arinda, yeah.
She's hot, though.
She what?
She's hot, though.
She's hot?
Yeah, in the comics.
Yeah, and they do Arinda Price and Thrawn Durney in the show, but I feel like that show really leads into like the monstrous as evil in a very boring way, which
we could get into.
Yeah. So yeah, what's the meeting he's going to? He's invited by Tarkin to discuss his TIE Defender program to defend it, but he thinks he's going to Coruscant, but then at the last minute Tarkin gives him new coordinates to have them meet on Grand Admiral Savit's flagship Star Destroyer, the Fire Drake. And then at this meeting, Thrawn gets sort of pulled into this grand wager that was always Tarkin's plan all along, to have Thrawn deal with this problem that is besieging the Stardust Project, which is that some Grolix, which are basically like larger Minox, are disrupting the supply chain for the Stardust program, which we know is the Death Star construction plan, helmed by Director Krennic. And so the wager is that if Thrawn can get rid of the Grolic problem in under a week without breaking Imperial protocol, Thrawn will secure the funding for the TIE Defender program. And Krennic also demands that one of his aides presides over Thrawn's activities because he's seen Thrawn's record and doesn't think, I don't know, Thrawn loves not following protocol. But Thrawn's like, what do you mean? Anyway.
Well, it's only protocol if it helps him.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything else isn't real.
It's not real.
It's not real.
It's not. It's just not.
It's like Wisconsin.
Exactly.
Or Finland.
Yeah. So he sends his aide, well, I don't know. He sends Assistant Director Brierly Ronan.
Who you note is a bitch. I just want to point that out.
He sends Brierly Ronan, a bitch. Grand Admiral Savit is also privy to this wager. It was his flagship. He was at the meeting, and he thinks Thrawn is a damn fool for not realizing the political subtext of the wager he has just taken on. Meanwhile, Thrawn is looking into things regarding the Grolic problem, and he accidentally stumbles onto an abandoned space station that seems like it was attacked by the Grisk. To Brierly Ronan's intense dismay, Thrawn insists upon investigating this. Ronan sees this as a distraction to the actual problem at hand, but, Thrawn's a man with a plan. And ultimately, all of it's connected. And in this process, Thrawn stumbles onto a covert recon mission led by Chiss baddie Admiral Arlani aboard the Springhawk. And you know who else is there? Our boy, Eli Vanto, who has since been demoted to lieutenant since his transfer to the Ascendancy military. He is not happy about this, nor is he happy about the data busy work he's been assigned, but he does have a new crush on Vanya, a 22-year-old Skywalker, which is what the Chiss used to navigate through hyperspace. Eli, assigned to look at data for the Grolic attack pattern, recognizes a pattern that no one else has, locating an anomaly in the Aloxor system. So Thrawn sends Eli and Brierly to check it out, along with 2 Death Troopers. Eli goes undercover as Horatio Fig again, and Ronan is supposed to pretend to be a guy pretending to be Brierly Ronan. On this mission, they cross paths with an ISB agent, Deja, who turns out to be very useful when things go awry with some smugglers / Empire haters / maybe rebels on this planet who are suspicious that this blustery pretend smuggler and an Imperial officer pretending to be a guy, pretending to be an Imperial officer, are both actually Imperial officers. Throughout this investigation, it ends up being the case that the Grolic problem is actually a part of a conspiracy between pirates, the governor of a planet in the Aloxor system, and Grand Admiral Savit, who has purposefully been making these thefts happen so that the Stardust Project cannot proceed as planned because he thinks the Death Star is a stupid tactic. Thrawn, meanwhile, is engaged in a campaign against the Grisks, but has to step away to make sure that Savit gets busted for his treason against the Empire. So it's a showdown between the Chimera and the Fire Drake, but the thing is, Thrawn is on the Fire Drake, and he's left Karen Farrow with detailed instructions about what Savit will do, because, you know what, he's just that good. In an almost comical display of brilliance, Thrawn predicts every one of Savit's moves before the battle even starts, which we know because he left Karen with some instructions. During the battle, fun fact, Pelion appears and stands with Thrawn against Savit. Victory against Savit is secured thanks to a well-timed stun blast from Deja the spy. Thrawn scuttles along back to the battle between the Grisks and the Chiss to find that Admiral Arlani has already dealt with the Grisk problem, thanks in part to the efforts of Eli Vanto in charge of the TIE Defenders, who Thrawn trusted him to deploy. In the sort of denouement, Eli, in a conversation with Arlani, learns that the data work that he's been doing is to figure out how the Chiss can make their Skywalker system more sustainable. Because of his input during the battle against the Grisk, Arlani kind of starts to see the point of him and promotes him to lieutenant commander. Eli, who was initially sad that Thrawn kind of didn't give him the time of day when they crossed paths again after a year, realizes that Thrawn, in sending him to the Chiss Ascendancy, was sort of indicating the high esteem in which Thrawn holds him. Because Thrawn did not really deal with the Grolic problem, he dealt with a conspiracy. He technically loses the wager, which he is fine with admitting so long as no one talks about the fact that he colluded with the Chiss to engage in unauthorized hostilities with the Grisks. He loses the wager graciously and suggests that Darth Vader be in charge of the Death Star. So we have Thrawn to thank for that, which I find kind of funny. He then suggests that Brierly Ronan go to the Ascendancy because, 1, he might be useful, 2, because Thrawn has parsed out that Brierly Ronan thinks the Emperor is a doddering fool, and Lord Vader can read minds. So if Ronan sticks around the Death Star project, he's probably going to die so fast. And Ronan agrees to this because he thinks that he will uncover proof that Thrawn hasn't been doing treason, or he'll learn more about the appearance of Force sensitives among the Chiss. And because the Jedi are the only known Force sensitives to Ronan, he thinks that the Force sensitives in the Chiss must be Jedi, which that's kind of interesting. And then in the epilogue, Thrawn and the Emperor have a chat, and the Emperor is still kind of convinced that Thrawn is on one when he says the Grisks are a threat to the Empire. The Emperor then instructs Thrawn to steal a Jedi temple from Lothal and reconstruct it on the Chimera, so that Thrawn can psychologically torment Ezra Bridger, which is then what occurs in Rebels Season 4, Episode 13.
Did you watch to the end?
I did, yeah.
So you saw the whales?
I did see the whales.
Aren't they weird-looking whales?
They're weird-looking whales, yeah.
Yeah.
I just find it hard to believe that the same guy who defeated another Grand Admiral via, instructional list is the same guy who, lost the planet Lothal to, 5 people. But
Jedi.
But Jedi. The Force. Yeah. So, that was the plot. Probably a bit too much editorializing.
Well, you didn't say that the Grisk can get wrecked.
I did not say that, even though that wasn't my...
Which I think was the best part of your plot overview.
I think
we should get more editorial in our plot overviews.
All right. Well, yeah, then I did not include that also. Let's never forget, Thrawn is a fascist. Fascists are fascists, even if they're low-key cunty. Never forget that, kids. That was also in my overview, but then I didn't say it.
He's
then
such a fascist.
I know. Thoughts, feelings, concerns?
Arlani, my beloved. I love her. I literally talked for 20 minutes on Wednesday about how unhelpful the girl boss trope is.
Mm-hmm.
But it works when Zahn does it. I don't know why. I don't necessarily... it doesn't really... It worked when Tony Gilroy did it with Mon Mothma, who's, low-key the only well-written woman in Andor.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I think, What's-Her-Face, Dedra is well-written.
Yeah, but she's Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
All of these women are the same kind of woman, you know?
Yeah. I think it's more tolerable when the women are... Oh, I guess this doesn't really work for Mon Mothma.
Hot and blue.
Huh?
I said it's tolerable when women are hot and blue.
Well, that's not what I was going to say, but sure. It's more tolerable when the women are Imperial. So you're not meant to believe that they're good people because they're all one of the main rules of the Star Wars universe is Imperial bad, Rebels good. So then, like, with what you were arguing with...
news about the Hand of Thrawn.
Huh?
I have some horrible news about the Hand of Thrawn.
I was just repeating what I read before. I
know.
What do you mean?
In the entirety of New Jedi Order.
There's
okay. Like they did like serious rehab of the Empire in the late 90s. That's
fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they need to like work with the Empire to defeat the Yuzhan Vong, right? So it's like...
Well, no, it's a different Empire. It's fucking... It's
like... Is it
Wedge Antilles? Yeah.
Yes.
Baron Sutir Fel, Wedge Antilles' brother-in-law.
Yeah.
His son marries Jaina Solo.
Fascinating.
And he is like the emperor of the Fel Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So that it becomes a multipolar state. Like a multipolar galaxy.
That's fascinating.
But there's like a good empire.
That's...
Okay. Well, speaking of girl bosses, Aralani and Karen Farrow kind of serve the same purpose, which is to tap Thrawn on the shoulder and be like, shut up, you stupid piece of shit.
But I feel like Farrow does it with a little bit more reverence, you know?
Well, yeah. And I ultimately do think that this is like testament to Timothy Zahn's skills as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love to shit talk Andor, also Tony Gilroy and Henry Gilroy's like ability to write Andor, especially the Gorman stuff, because I can't imagine having to write around like a show meant for 7-year-olds. Yeah. Because everybody in that context is writing around Rebels, which is a Y7 show.
Yeah.
Like, and there's nothing wrong with children's media. There's nothing wrong with making Star Wars for kids. That's what the fucking movies are. You know, like, the movies are for 12-year-old boys. The books are for 23-year-old men. The video games are for 17-year-old boys. And women aren't real.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why Mara Jade wears a catsuit.
Naturally.
Okay, what are your...
Well, you're not done with your thoughts.
We can talk about those later.
Okay.
It's just like a what's missing here.
Yeah. Thoughts, feelings. I think what's cool is just like the glimpse we get of how things work in the Chiss Ascendancy. I have started reading the Ascendancy trilogy, but I feel like I started reading this before I started reading that. So and
it did come out first.
Yeah.
This came out first.
And so like, but I just like have such like a, you know, like that like classic like trope when you talk about world building with like the iceberg and like the thing that you see is just like the top of the iceberg and then there's like all this other stuff underneath that you never really see.
Yeah.
Like I felt that very strongly with this, and like this, even though we weren't like embedded in the world of the Chiss yet, I still felt like there was a real entity here that wasn't flat, you know?
Okay.
And I thought that was cool. And I feel like that's like even more impressive world building to like have just a couple representatives from a people and still have a sense that like, oh shit, like
Thrawn is abnormal.
Yeah. And like there's like a culture here that is different from what we know. And I don't know, I feel like...
A lot of people would disagree with you on that point.
What do you mean?
The Chiss culture being different than the Empire.
But
those people also probably assume that Italian, Spanish, and German fascism are all the same, so...
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, they're literally like, oh, well, the Chiss are fascist and the Empire is fascist. Like, what new thing is happening?
I mean...
I don't know.
They've got a different...
You got Mussolini.
They've got a different organizational structure.
Yeah. It's very like a Three Kingdoms period coded.
I don't know what you mean by that.
In China.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Chiss Ascendancy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's fascinating. Also, like, there's different... Like stuff that goes on with the Force. Like, that is also set up as, like, different and thought out. Like,
yeah.
You know, there's... It's the fucking... There's, like, simply, like, the geography of it is... Or whatever you call geography in outer space. Like, is different because of, like, the way hyperspace lanes are because of the astronomical anomalies. Like, that changes how a people relates to their space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, like, the Chiss are fascist, the Empire is fascist. But just because a governing system is totalitarian and whatever the fuck else defines a fascist, exploitative and, I don't know, economically oppressive, there are different ways that plays out in places with different histories, different languages, different government structures, different diplomatic relations with different species like around them, and just simply different geography.
Yeah. Ian Kershaw, trying to define fascism is trying to nail jelly to the wall. Stanley G. Payne, anti-liberalism, anti-communism, and anti-conservatism, which is like the fascist negotiations. Fascist goals, which is the creation of a nationalist dictatorship to regulate economic structure. And then fascist style, which is a political aesthetic of romantic symbolism, mass mobilizations, a positive view of violence. Wow, the Soviet Union falls into that. At least 2.5 of those.
Interesting.
So does the United States. I mean, it's not like you need... No, it was just... Usually when people make their definitions of fascism,
they very clearly...
They write them so the global powers don't fit.
Fascinating.
So, like, a lot of... That's why tankies say that Russia... Like, that the Soviet Union...
Isn't fascist?
Isn't fascist.
Huh.
Because they're like, fascism needs to have capitalism. Which it does not.
No.
This one, the only thing that the USSR does not check off is the anti-communism. Which you could argue that by nature of the Kremlin existing, like, it was anti-communist because having a secretary general, like, is anti-communist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, what you're saying about fitting this into continuity, I don't know, I was, again, like, I feel like I had to do mental labor to, I feel like still needing to do mental labor to be like, okay, these guys are evil, let's remember, what were they up to? Like, the Gorman genocide that we all saw on Andor, like, happened, like, a year previously to enable the Stardust Project to happen. That didn't sink in until I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Krennic was in Andor. What's going on with that?
Yeah, because you made that note, and I was like, oh, Krennic is from Rogue One.
Yeah.
But...
Well, he dies on Rogue One.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but this happens, I know.
So, everybody who was on the Death Star dies in Star Wars.
Well, Krennic doesn't die.
No, but I'm saying, anyway, like, I think most everyone who worked on that.
The Taken one is now the Tarkin Massacre. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Umberto Eco lists 14 features that are typical of what he would like to call fascism or eternal fascism, which, I don't know, saying there's 14 points, that's a little Nazi-coded.
That's crazy, actually.
These features cannot be organized into a system, and many of them contradict each other, and are also typical of other kinds of despotism or fanaticism. But it's enough of one of them to be present to allow fascism to coagulate around it. John Lucas argues that there's no such thing as generic fascism. But when you talk about the difference between the ascendancy and empire, they're not the same. Things can be fascist and not be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then he claims that Nazism and communism... Who is this guy? Is he evil? Oh, he's Hungarian. So probably.
Oh no, our Hungarian
rip! No, his parents they converted to Catholicism, and then thank God he was Hungarian because the Hungarians didn't deport their own Jews. His parents were ethnically Jewish converts to Catholicism in Hungary before World War II.
Yeah, who is this?
John Lukács, which is probably not how you pronounce that. Now that I know he's Hungarian.
Yeah.
A revolutionary, anti-liberal, anti-Marxist organized militia party with a totalitarian conception of politics and the state.
Krennic Death Star continuity. Like, it's just interesting what you said about, like, the Rebel Alliance is, like, conspicuously absent from this book. And the spy in this book, Deja, his undercover name is Mole. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, that's just so on the nose.
It's hilarious.
I just think that's great.
Well, yeah, now that you've mentioned it, I have an entire little subsection of our notes that says what is missing here. Because arguably, in both alliances and Thrawn, there is, like, either a rebel or republic presence. Mm-hmm. Even if Anakin Skywalker is certifiably insane. Yeah.
Well, Padme's there. And she believes in the republic-ish.
I finished that Padme Thrawn fic.
Oh my god.
It was so weird. It's also not done, but I don't think I'm going to go back to it.
No.
Yeah, it was very odd. Also, on that note, since I mentioned that, there's now, like, 6 Clea Thrawn fics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Same person or
Same person, yeah.
Good for her, them, him, whoever. The creator.
I'm kind of rocking with them now.
Yeah?
I think I Pavloved myself into liking them. They were kind of fun.
That's great.
The last one I read was, like, Clea is undercover at an event. Mm-hmm. And then she just, like, hooks up with this guy. Mm-hmm. And that guy is Thrawn, like, the day he is promoted to Grand Admiral. Which I was like, because you had complained, I'm sorry, now we're just gonna, like, you were like, oh, I don't necessarily understand how Clea would, like, be okay with fucking a Grand Admiral. But that one...
Mm-hmm. She doesn't even know.
Because he doesn't have his rank.
Right. It's just like a party.
Yeah, it's just like a party she's at gathering information.
Mm-hmm. That's really funny. I found a fic that's Han and Thrawn fic
What?
I should send it to you.
Okay.
But I was like, 12:30. I'm like, I can't send an AO3 link at 12:30
Yes,
at night.
you can. You can send me them whenever.
Basically, it's before the events of like Heir to the Empire. Like Han and Chewie are hanging out at like a cantina in like yeah.
I've seen that one.
And it's really fucking funny.
I've never clicked on it. It's so scary.
It's honestly, it was one of the more normal things I've read, but that might.
Can I send you the most recent Thrawn one?
Yeah, you can.
It's only 7,000 words.
That's really short.
It's really short. I commented on it. Don't go stalking my fucking AO3 profile.
I would never, ever.
You'll
do
be
that.
able to tell it's me by the way I comment on things. I didn't say anything weird.
I believe you.
I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I will send it to you because I thought it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's your homework while we're on our smoke break.
Read the Thrawn fic?
Is read the Thrawn fic.
All right.
So yeah, like obviously now that we've had this several minute detour where I talk about Clea Markey having sex with Grand Admiral Thrawn and not knowing about it, like there are shifts in this book, and I love Aralani, and I love I've read Outbound Flight, I've read the Hand of Thrawn stuff, like both of the unofficial Outbound Flight duology or whatever. But like it just feels very weird that the Rebel Alliance is missing in the way that it is. And then I like started looking it up. Ezra and Sabine have not been in any adult literature. They have like these like Rebels like chapter books for it's like the Scholastic like level 2, level 3 chapter books for Ezra and Sabine and Zeb. Mm-hmm. But like Kanan and Hera have a book that we're gonna read in a month, God willing, that we don't get fucked by life. And it was the first canon novel to come out.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, like it was the first novel to be released after the canon reset. And like in that vein, like Ezra's presence in adult literature is kind of marked by his absence. Because essentially to like get around the original trilogy, they send him to that fucking planet for 9 years. And then it's like, oh, well now we can do the events of Heir to the Empire. Because it's been 9 years. Also, Ahsoka wasn't kids. Ahsoka's a Ruby.
What?
Yeah.
My baby.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
Is this like because ultimately people don't want to step on Filoni's toes? Maybe, because he did like decanonize that entire Ahsoka book. And people got really pressed about the Kanan comic in the way that they portrayed Kanan's like escape from Order 66 and the Bad Batch. I personally, as you saw in the first half of my presentation the other day, and also my edits that you so graciously did for me for that paper, and me also talking about this every day for the last 2 years, and now we have a podcast about Star Wars because I wrote a fucking Jedi thesis. Like, I don't think that comics are as important. Like, and not like people don't like them, but like in a advertising way. It's like people are more likely to watch movies than they are to read a book. They are more likely to read a book than they are to read a comic. They're more likely to read a comic than they are to play a video game.
Yes.
Put TV in there somewhere.
More likely to watch TV than read a book.
Yeah, and then just continue. Are people allowed to write about these two characters? Because, like, we do know that Lucasfilm pre-Disney did have things you could not write about. Most notably, Wes and Hobby being gay for each other.
Fucked up.
Shout out Aaron Alston. But also, in all of those Zahn interviews that I had gone through for last week, and then also for my thing, because I was like looking for that Howard Rothman quote. Zahn wants to write an Ezra Thrawn book on that planet.
That would be so interesting.
I don't know if they're gonna let him do it.
Well, he's been running his mouth off.
Well, for good fucking reason.
Yeah, maybe. But even if like Ezra and Sabine like can't be written about, it is still, at least in this book,
weird that they aren't there.
It's conspicuous. Like, but also the thing is like you don't need to talk about Ezra and Sabine to like talk about
Ezra and Sabine.
Yeah, you could still talk about the rebellion.
Or the Ghost Crew.
Yeah. Or just like that bitch Mon Mothma. Because I feel like they would know who she is.
Well, and also like
she like publicly left the Imperial Senate.
Twice. Andor came out after these books did. But like, yeah, come on.
Yeah. And like, but my in-universe reason for why it's not mentioned, which is probably a bit charitable, but it could work, is that it's just showing the entitlement of Empire. Like, they don't take the rebels seriously as a threat. So
But
like
you
they're
think
not.
then they would like mock the fact that they have to do this at all?
Yeah, that would make sense. But then it's like, but then if they did that, then it would like not sync well with like Thrawn's like mustache twirling villainous enjoyment of like crushing the rebels on Lothal. Like
I don't think that's. I don't think that.
it wouldn't.
I don't think it would necessarily fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because like if you don't take them fucking seriously,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, ah ha ha ha, get fucked. I mean, that does change Thrawn's characterization a lot because he's like okay with orbital bombardments of people he doesn't take seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But also, is that a Thrawn thing or is that more of an Enterprise thing anyway?
No, he like says, Ezra Bridger, you can either surrender or I will start bombing Lothal. And then Ezra takes a
No,
minute.
he's literally the United States.
Yeah.
This is literally Hiroshima.
Yeah. And Ezra surrenders, but like after a hot minute. So like Thrawn does have the chance to bomb. What's the name of the fucking city on Lothal? Like
Lothal City.
Lothal City. Ridiculous. Do better.
Do you think that they're called Loth Cats?
Yeah,
And
and
Loth Wolves? It's gotta be easily recognizable for children.
I understand. That's okay. But it's not just a Enterprise who's okay with like glassing civilians. Also, Thrawn does that to get Ezra to surrender.
It's fascinating.
Which is like set up at the end of this book where the Emperor says, I don't care how you do it, just get Ezra Bridger on the Chimera so he can be in that Jedi temple. So then he like can defeat Ezra Bridger
like
in like
what
the
you were
portal
talking
thing.
about last week with the whole like miserly.
Yeah.
Yeah, where like you do have to set that up because it doesn't necessarily make sense
Indeed.
that he would do that because he would be like,
These people are workers.
this is a 17-year-old boy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like, I'm sorry. I don't care that Ezra Bridger is a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because you know how I am about the Jedi.
I know.
Other than Mace Windu. I love him.
Yeah.
I just, even as a Jedi, I just can't be like one 17-year-old boy
Mm-hmm.
versus, and I realize Luke was like an 18-year-old boy versus a Death Star, but that's different
Mm-hmm.
because he's like, well, because eugenics or whatever, genetic predisposition to like being good or bad like exists in Star Wars. Like he's the child of the chosen one,
Mm-hmm.
and also the Death Star was like purposefully fucking made to be destroyed.
Yeah.
According to Rogue One. And even if it wasn't, it's a bad design decision.
Yeah.
Like, but then I guess if you're not thinking about small warcraft, it's a whole thing. We could get into like the aeronautics
Of the destruction of the Death Star?
of the, yeah, but then we need to call my brother.
Okay.
And I don't want to do that.
That's so
'cause
fair.
He's at work.
Yeah, but also I feel like because of the concept of A New Hope, that happening, I don't know, that just like, that makes sense in the confines of that movie of like, of
Well, yeah,
being because also the rebel, like he has the entire rebel fleet behind him in that, even though it is like a bunch of X-Wings who then get exploded.
Well, no, not our boy
all of them.
Wedge.
Yeah, no, because
Wedge
Wedge dips
survived.
out. Yeah.
Both Death Star
And
ones.
now he has survivor's guilt, but that's not the point of this.
I can't believe they fucking killed Hobby. They hate gay men.
They do hate gay men.
Disney hates gay men.
Yeah.
They're totally fine with depicting lesbians because men can fetishize lesbians, but they just will not depict gay men.
Yeah.
And like the most Bert and Ernie-ass gay couple, Hobby and Wes.
Mm-hmm.
Hobby's dead.
Ridiculous.
I don't even think Wes exists.
Yeah. I mean, he's annoying, but
They have not portrayed a single,
yeah.
I'm going to say gay, like in gay men and then
In the
lesbian.
old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Since they purchased Lucasfilm. You know who does, though?
Who?
AO3.
Hell yeah. I guess I just wanted to conclude the thought of like why does it not make sense for like I think it's because in the first Star Wars movie, in A New Hope, the showdown at the end, you're like, yes, Darth Vader is flying the ship, but it's between Luke as a pilot versus like the Death Star as a whole, as a symbol.
Mm-hmm.
But the showdown at the end of Rebels is Grand Admiral Thrawn, who is historically portrayed as a masterful tactician, and his downfall isn't like a design flaw or like someone else fucking up. I guess it is this like Deus Ex Machina, like fucking these giant fucking space whales, but it's also at multiple points it depicts him not thinking through every possible situation and also like tangling with a 17-year-old when like this man who I think like has like restraint and dignity, even though he is a fascist, I don't think would seem to visibly enjoy psychologically tormenting a child.
Well, okay. See, and one more thing, and then we'll come back and we can talk about this more.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, he didn't expect, like, Ruch to kill him, but
Mhm.
Ruch is dead in this scenario.
Mhm.
It's not that he always accounts for everything,
Mhm.
or that he, like, isn't mildly impulsive, because sometimes he is.
Mhm.
I just am hard pressed to see anyone short of like Darth Vader him fucking self
Mhm.
being like, I'm going to do an orbital bombardment of this goddamn planet over a 17-year-old boy. Like,
Mhm.
come on.
Yeah.
Maybe the Emperor would do that.
Mhm.
But the Emperor historically has not done that.
Mhm.
The Emperor is just like, have you tried killing Darth Vader?
Mm.
I hate him,
Mm.
but I put him in that suit. I can't take him out of the suit myself, because then I won't have an apprentice. But if you do it, you could be my new guy.
Yeah.
And we could rule the
Perfect.
galaxy. That has to be very embarrassing every time that happens, now I'm thinking about it.
What?
The whole, like, you know how Sheev, every time Luke, like, walks in the room, he's like, you could kill your dad.
Yeah.
It's gotta be embarrassing for Darth Vader.
Probably.
Yeah. Be like, why the fuck are you so sure that my
Child is going to kill me?
teenage son, he's not even, like, a real adult.
No. The little boy.
He's like 18 or 19, but
Still.
okay.
Or do we have
Oh,
more to
wait,
say
no.
about-
Did we want to talk about the Gorman Massacre more?
We could.
Yeah, because, like, okay, kind of low-key orbital bombardment is something that Tarkin would do.
Yeah.
But that's because Tarkin, like, is and has been, for the last 50 fucking years, a mustache, like, twirling villain.
Yeah.
And it's like you specifically write someone who, and Dave Filoni, did not invent Thrawn, I guess, but you have this character who was written as a way to, like, be something different from the rest of the officers and the rest of the, like, and that is, like, I don't have anything to back this up, but that's probably why he's blue, is because of how white everybody is. And now you have that one Moff, I can't remember his name. He's very pretty. I can't remember the actor's name either, but he's very pretty. With the whole, like, idea of, like...
Moff Gideon?
Yes, Moff Gideon. Isn't he kind of hot? The actor.
Oh, yeah, that's because it's played by Giancarlo Esposito, who's hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't remember his name.
Wow,
I'm stupid.
Yeah.
You gotta watch Ahsoka, too. I'm sorry. Now you just have to watch, like, 48 seasons of television.
I'm so upset right now.
That's the problem. Oh, that's, like, the thing, is, like... Not to... I guess this is probably kind of the closest analog to, like, what I was talking about in my shit. Where, like, in the same way that, like, it does not make sense for Kira to survive to the events of the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
It did not make sense for Bria to survive, so she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
But they just, like, won't kill people.
Yeah.
And even when they do kill people, the true leader of Crimson Dawn, Darth Maul. That means, like, I like how Darth Maul is portrayed in Rebels. I love a pathetic man.
Yeah. No, he's great in Rebels.
But they just, like, don't kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Hobby.
Well,
because
Darth Maul
he's
dies in
gay.
Rebels. Yes.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
The only person they have forever killed was Hobby, and it's because he's a gay man.
No, Disney not beating the bury your gays trope allegation.
Well, that one.
The lesbian couple.
Yeah, only one of them's dead.
No, yeah, it does make no sense to have this villain who was created to be different than just be the same as the rest of them.
Yeah.
One, like, out of universe explanation probably is that, like, Rebels is a kids show and, like, they want, but you can have complex. Yeah.
Look at the Hunger Games.
Yeah. Such a good
point. Look at Codename Kids Next Door. Mm-hmm. Like, there are complex villains and.
Yeah. No, and they're just very like.
Or Teen Titans.
Yeah. Or the moment, like, when, like, Thrawn, like, picks up that guy who, like, says, why do you care about this trash? And then, like, Thrawn is, like, picks him, I think it's, like, Constantine. He, like, picks him up and, like, shakes him and is like, like, don't call it trash. It's art. You're disrespecting the art. Like.
Lean in too hard into the art thing.
Yeah.
They should pay us to be consultants.
They should.
So we know about things like race science.
Yes.
And religion.
I know, but the other thing that's interesting is that every book we've read so far about Thrawn has involved us watching someone else who works closely with him observe him, even when we are privy to his internal monologue. So, like, in the Heir to the Empire trilogy, we have Pelion, like, watching Thrawn, observing him, thinking about him.
Yes, because he's got the hots for Thrawn.
Indeed. In Thrawn, we have Eli Vanto. Also, yeah.
Kind of got the hots for
Low-key. We have Anakin. Does he have the hots?
Could theoretically.
People
he's like a homophobic gay man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And...
What the fuck?
Did you know there's Vader Thrawn fic? What?
I know there is Vader Thrawn fic. I've read several of them.
Nice. And then in this we have I feel like that role is filled by Pharaoh, but I don't. When I wrote that, I had thoughts about it, but now I don't.
Yeah, there's Pharaoh Thrawn fic.
I've read it.
Have you?
Yeah. It's
Which one?
There's one where like they're like she's like in love with him.
Do you want to talk about capes or do you want to talk about Eli?
Let's talk about Eli.
This is all your notes, babes. I'm just responding because I had a week.
I'm gonna talk. Well, on the subject of absences, since we're talking about the absence of the rebellion from this book, absent from last book was Eli Vanto.
It was.
But now he's back.
Yeah?
Before he's back, we do get to hear Karen Farrow and Grand Admiral Savit's thoughts about the missingness of Eli. Namely, I think Savit's thoughts are very interesting because we get like an insight into the conspiracy theories swirling around Vanto's absence.
Which does confirm our question that people do speculate about Thrawn.
Yeah.
And they do think that he's stupid.
Like, one of the conspiracy theories is that Thrawn disappeared Eli because Eli was starting to, like, overshadow him. All of the people were speculating that all of Thrawn's victories were purely due to Eli Vanto.
Which, did he start losing after Eli left? Like, I don't know if that's the case.
The loss at Atollon happened.
Well, that's because there was that thing. The Bendu.
The Bendu, indeed.
You can't account for the Bendu.
You can't account for the Bendu. And you also can't account for the stupidity of Constantine. Constantine with a K. We meet Eli in the Chiss Ascendancy. He's uncomfortable there because he's the only alien among the Chiss. And the Chiss have thoughts and feelings about people who are not Chiss. And it's mainly that they're worthless.
Well, and it's a really interesting callback to in the first book, where Eli's like, yeah, people don't really fuck with aliens because of the separatist crisis.
Yeah.
Which, like, I always was under the assumption that Eli was kind of one of those people, and he felt, and he does, like, canonically feel in the book, like Thrawn is holding him back from his goal of being a supply officer.
Which, like, have a better goal, dude.
I know.
Yeah, like,
okay, babes.
I mean, he does adjust throughout the events of the first Thrawn book into realizing that the life he has with Thrawn is more interesting than
the life he would have had, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, now he's in that position where people don't trust him. And, like, he is the minority. Because if you think, and I will die on the hill that, like, the way I understand the Empire is a white supremacist organization, in addition to a Cuban supremacist organization. I think what Disney's, or, like, Lucasfilm's assertion now that, like, the only place we can, like, have Black people be characters is the Empire. I feel like that is a disservice to the actors themselves and also everybody else. Because, we as people who live on Earth, and there are no other sentient species that are sentient in the way that we're sentient, like, we can't communicate with octopi or octopuses or elephants, or we as a species kind of bred all of the other humans out of existence like 100,000 years ago. But, like, we understand white supremacy, especially in the American context. It would make sense if you want to depict a human supremacist organization, you would use real life understandings of prejudice in that way and kind of lean into, like, the white supremacy aspects, which, given the costuming of Empire, and I mean, the movies are very white, and that's, it is what it is. It was the late 70s, and I'm not claiming that they weren't racist choices even in the 70s, but you know what I mean. It's like, if you keep that barrier, because you can, like, they're so afraid of writing new stories about the rebellion, because they don't want to be like, okay, well, and I mean, Star Wars fans are racist, but they don't want people questioning, like, why there weren't Black people at the Death Star run or whatever the fuck their rationalization is. It's like, okay, well, if you're fighting, if you're using guerrilla warfare, your entire fleet's not going to be at Yavin.
Yeah.
That's a bad idea.
Just,
like, objectively. Garbage fucking idea.
Garambel Iblis had a point.
He did. And, like, you could talk about the Corellian resistance Even though it doesn't exist anymore, but like, you know what I mean?
You can make it exist.
You can make it exist, and you could have these different, and then you have Saw Gerrera and like his guys, and like that's really in. I mean, you've watched Andor. Like that is where they put all the black people in the rebellion.
Yeah,
they're just like, you go with Saw Gerrera because we can't have you. But also, like, it's not that fucking deep. It's really not.
No.
Like, I know I've been intellectualizing this all week, but like,
no different from any other week.
Yeah, but like more this week than the week prior because I had to
more in a professional setting than usual.
Yeah, it was very weird.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to scholarly talk about Star Wars again.
Yeah.
Podcast it is.
Hell yeah.
Because I can say stupid shit.
Yes.
But like, and then in the way that like it would just make sense to kind of continue the thread of the Empire because we understand white supremacy. So when you talk about human supremacy, have that be the like visual analog. And then just stop being such pussies about depicting black people in the rebellion. Like, that's fucking weird. It would just make more sense.
It would make more sense.
And there can't be any Jews in the rebellion. That's why they sent Ezra to that planet.
Yeah. There should be Jews.
Well, there was Ephraim and Mira Bridger, and they're dead. And there's Ezra, who's on that fuck-ass planet with Thrawn.
With his blue contacts.
And there are Jews in the rebellion. Harrison Ford's Jewish and Carrie Fisher's Jewish.
Shout out.
Yeah. Which is the good thing about the monoculture. Because that means, by extension, Corellians are just Jewish.
Yeah. Alderaan, just...
West Coast Jews.
Yep. Yeah, and speaking of the rebellion, I guess... We're not exactly a rebellion, but we talked earlier about how in this book we get less of a perspective of, like, notions of the Empire outside of the Empire. But I think one space where that we get a glimpse of that is when Eli and Briarly Ronan are looking into the supply chain issue in the Aloxor system.
Did you just do that off the dome?
Yeah.
Based. You're in too deep, man.
I know.
You're fucked.
Yeah, well, I don't remember the name of the planet.
I did. Okay, it's probably Aloxor.
Probably knowing this fucking universe.
The Corellian system, Corellia,
in the
which
Corellian
is a planet that goes around Corellia Prime. In the Corellian system, in the Corellian sector, and it's at the intersection of the Corellian Way and the Corellian Trade Spine.
Wow. Who's in too deep?
No, I only remember that one because it was just like Corellia 6 times.
Corellia. Yeah, and so we see Eli and Ronan, like, among just, like, normal people on this planet. And what's funny is, like, they're immediately clocked as...
Weird.
Like, they don't go here. And...
Yeah?
Yeah. And the woman that they speak to, whose name I forget, is like... She's like, yeah, you got the clothes right. You got the beat-up freighter ship. But you don't have the right... attitude. You're not like furtive enough. You're too confident. And then so they get immediately questioned by these sort of like leaders of they seemed like to have connections to the underground crime syndicates, but also the rebellion, which are sort of have a lot of overlap because, you know, both of them are targeted by the Empire.
But not in Solo.
What do you mean?
The crime syndicates are not.
They're not targeted by the Empire?
No, because the whole thing is that, like...
Because we're not allowed to sympathize with criminals anymore?
No, I'm sorry. I just watched Solo 4 times this week. So, in Solo, which is a movie.
I'm familiar with the concept.
Of a movie? Or of Han Solo?
Both.
Okay. You familiar with the concept of Kira?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I saw your talk.
You saw my talk. You saw half my talk.
I read and edited your script.
And then watched me go over it. You're like my wife.
Oh my god.
My academic wife. Really living the 1950s academic
life. You're the one making the stew. I
am the one making the stew. It's going to be so good. Fuck. Okay. So, Kira is like a person in Crimson Dawn. In the novelization, it says she's Voss's like slave killer girl. Which, I'm sorry, if I was branded a slave killer girl, I'd probably kill my boss and just leave.
100%, yeah.
Like, no.
No.
But Memphis Nest and like her squad, they're like, we're oppressed by the crime syndicates and empire.
Mm.
Like, you guys are working together to oppress us.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, like, look at it, fascist Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, look at the way that Italy fell.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had the mob presence, or the mafia presence, in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the guys that ended up, you know, I mean, there was a draft from World War II. But a lot of the guys that ended up joining up in the military in the United States were Italians and, like, were involved in, you know, the smuggling of drugs and Parmesan and liquor and shit. And racketeering and money laundering or whatever. So they get to Italy and they're like, no. Like, you need to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mafia guys in Italy, low key, like, that's why Italy fell so quickly, is because of the mob. So, like, and the mafia in Italy was working for the fascists. That's why they hadn't been entirely dismantled. So, like, you can have these things pop up in the same ways, but also kind of the whole point of Star Wars is, like, anti-fascist and anti-slavery. So I don't necessarily see how the crime syndicates would, like, work with the rebellion. Or vice versa. The rebellion working with the crime syndicates.
Yeah. I mean...
Imagine just Chewie kind of, like, seeing a slave, you know?
Yeah.
He would go ballistic.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Solo seeing a slave, he would go ballistic.
Yeah. I mean...
Not on the slave, obviously. Like, on the people who own. Like, it's very anti-slavery.
Yeah.
At its core.
I think... But, like, the other thing I'm getting at, though, is, like, there are... I think, like, people who operate, like, criminal organizations who are, like, not engaging with the slave trade. I mean, like, I know Talon Card isn't canon, but, like, he's got strong morals against that. And, like, there's still, like, the targeting of smugglers and pirates who weren't necessarily doing all that.
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm just being pedantic.
I understand. And I think that is a thing that's worth talking about. But I also think, like, there are... I mean, this is sort of off topic because it's, like, the previous books, but... Which don't matter. But, like...
Damn right they don't.
Yeah. Talon Card.
Tycho. No.
My love.
Well, Tycho still exists.
Who still exists?
Tycho.
That's important.
Because he's, like, in an encyclopedia entry.
Nice. Relegated to a footnote.
I know.
Ugh. But I feel like what we see here with, like, I need to find out her name, actually. This is gonna piss me off. Thrawn Treason open. I fucking...
Okay, quick side note, since
Yeah.
you're looking for shit right now. I accidentally fucked up really bad and
Mhm.
have not been doing... Like, I've been doing yarn overs every fucking row instead of every other row.
Damn.
So it's increasing exponentially, I guess.
Shit.
Which I'm just rocking with, because I'm not ripping out
No.
silk. Like, that's just not happening. But it's going to be such a weird looking triangle.
Can't believe one of the Death Troopers' names are Pick and Waffle.
It's literally
That's
me.
ridiculous.
What you got against Pick and Waffle?
I'm a hater.
I'm sorry, we had that whole conversation about planes. You think they don't do that to people too? Their names aren't Pick and Waffle.
Yeah. As a military man, Eli found himself impressed by the layered diversion/attack strategy of the pickpocket and muggers. As a potential victim, he found himself flinching back from the sudden flurry of activity, feeling helpless without a weapon or the warning deterrent of a uniform. As a bystander, he found himself oddly entertained. I love him. I don't know. Just, I feel like his thought processes are normal to me, even though he's an Imperial, which is a problem. Skulk and Cisse are the main two people that Eli talks.
Okay, we're back.
We're back.
Sorry.
Yippee. Yeah, so, like, this sort of side quest that Eli and Ronan go on because of they catch the attention of these two, seem like de facto, like, leaders of the streets on this planet, or at least at this specific spaceport. Like, these are the people who, like, sort of take control of the situation of there being weird outsiders coming in.
Which,
with
to
these.
be fair,
Yeah.
have they tried being less weird?
Have they tried being less weird? Have they tried traveling with, like, not traveling with two giant muscle men?
Also, like, Eli is from Wild Space. That's, like, what really confused me about this.
Yeah.
Is, like, Eli, act normal.
Yeah.
This has been your entire fucking life.
Yeah. I mean, like, to be fair, I feel like
He became too normal.
he became too Imperial. Like, do you mean normal by Imperial?
Yeah.
Potentially. I think being in, like, the Imperial military for a while probably would change his, like, demeanor and his, like, memories of Wild Space. But also, I think, like, it doesn't really matter how normal Eli can present himself or like how backwater his accent is if he's next to fucking Briarly Ronan over here and 2 Death Troopers.
Briarly.
Yeah. And
yeah, that's fair.
And Eli is the one who like guides them through this situation. Because like the plan all along was not, this is sort of erroneous in my plot summary. The plan all along was not for Eli to go undercover as Horatio Fig. He just like pulls that out of a hat.
Yeah.
Because like they get unwanted attention when they land in the spaceport. And then
I do remember that.
Yeah. And like
in my defense, I am not stupid. And I did read this book.
Yes.
I promise.
No, I know. And then like Eli name drops Night Swan to like
try to be cool.
But then like he name drops too hard. Like he says that he is the new Night Swan. Like
such a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I heard Night Swan was out of business. He is, Eli said. I'm his replacement. Like what? Like you know how much knowledge you better have if you are the new Night Swan?
He has none. He's been in the Chiss Ascendancy for...
He doesn't know shit about dick. He doesn't know what's going on.
He's like, wow, I hang out with blue people.
I got a
crush on this girl.
And I hate my job.
Wow.
So
like
me.
Fuck. We're just both gay. It's fine.
Well, yeah.
I got an email from a student.
Okay, I need to come up with a coherent thing to say about Eli Vanto before I start screaming.
He's a cunty little space cowboy.
He's a cunty little space cowboy. And I don't know, it's also interesting here.
Bricala, not good at his job.
Bricala?
Brearly.
Bricala. Yeah, so like
He's got a tragedy name.
What?
He has a tragedy name.
What does that mean? Oh, tragedy. Yes, he does. I was like, are you referencing like a Greek tragedy that I don't know about? What?
No,
he's like r/tragedy.
Mormon.
Yeah.
It's a very Mormon name.
It is a very Mormon name. Okay, so we have Eli sort of like among like the hoi polloi and being weird about it. And so like he does things like in this scene which sort of continue his characterization of just like being an Imperial through and through. But what's also interesting about his characterization or his character's journey in this book is his assimilation to the Chiss Ascendancy and the way that he communicates his understanding of Chiss values, Vanya and Admiral Arlani, and to some extent Thrawn, but he and Thrawn have like very little contact in this book, which makes Eli sad because when he comes back, he really wants Thrawn to be like, "Hello, Eli, welcome back. I've missed you. You're doing a great job," which is a really funny thing for Eli to expect, given that he's like worked with Thrawn for like, I feel like the better part of a decade, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like if I worked with Thrawn as long as Eli did.
It's like when we hugged the other day.
Yeah. Where it's like I
was like, I feel very weird about this.
Yeah. Well, I was.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, it's just sort of like, we don't hug like that. And like when I would never have asked for a hug if I wasn't
in need of a hug.
Because I know the nature of our relationship and it's 2 homophobic straight men who are sitting 5 feet apart in a hot tub because they're not gay.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And I am down to give you a hug if you need a hug. It was just very weird. And it would be like, okay, we hugged that one time.
Yep.
And now you expect a hug all the time.
I'm never going to expect a hug all the time.
I'm saying if you were Eli Vanto.
If I was Eli Vanto, yes.
It's like now you expect a hug all the time and I'd be like,
no.
We don't do that.
We don't do that.
That's weird, bro.
Yeah, no, I actually have stuff to do. There's like an existential threat to both the Chiss Ascendancy and the Empire that we're talking about. Why do you want my approval right now?
Because I made a good spreadsheet.
Yeah. He does very good spreadsheet. And what's also interesting, also in terms of like, I mean, here's a going back to fucking narrativity, because you can never get away from the sound of the woman that loves you, is, so to speak. Well, is this narrativity? I don't know. It's very interesting that Eli is ultimately involved in data work that like helps the advancement of the Death Star project. You know?
Yeah.
He's like a mid-level bureaucrat, basically, going back
and
to...
he's never mentioned.
And he's never mentioned. Which makes sense. There's a bunch of people on the Stardust project who will never get mentioned.
Most of them. I mean, there's like most people who
worked on it.
Work on horrible things aren't mentioned.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be an Oppenheimer.
It's true. But it's also interesting because in the ways that like Eli thinks to himself, like, how can I demonstrate that I've understood Chiss values? Like, in that we learn what Chiss values are. Also, going back to our previous point about like the difference, even if like both the Ascendancy and the Empire are fascist, they evidently are different because Eli has to think really, really hard about how to respond to situations in ways that will like earn him the approval of the Chiss ascendancy.
Yeah.
Or like people who are like are Chiss and it's like know how to live Chiss values without a second thought. Like,
well, because contrary to popular belief, fascism is not a one-size-fits-all thing.
Yeah. Hello.
Like, it would make sense. Well, and like they're I think it's Urquhart. So I'm gonna start talking about white nationalism and black nationalism, ethno-nationalism in general. So I will find it and I will send you the article and I'll put it in the show notes. But there was this guy who he went undercover and he's like black nationalist organizations in California. And he wrote this article about like how cooperative the like Latina nationalists, white nationalists, black nationalists, like how cooperative those groups are, even though like fundamentally they don't like each other.
Right.
But because the end goal for everything was segregation, where like the white nationalists wanted everyone else to be segregated from white people, and the black nationalists like wanted the same thing, it allowed for cooperation that otherwise would like not have been possible. Does that mean they fuck with each other? No. Does that mean that both flavors of ethno-nationalism manifest in the same way? Absolutely not. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's like how Elijah Muhammad sent Malcolm X to meet with the Klan because they shared. Yeah.
No, literally like very similar stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is like neo-Nazi white supremacists, not the Klan.
Right.
Well, no, and then you also have the...
For the record, Malcolm X fucking hated that he was sent to do that, and that's one of the reasons why he was like, maybe I don't want to be in this organization anymore.
No, and he also... Wasn't David Duke the fucking Grand Wizard when that happened?
Yeah, I think so. But it was also like Elijah Muhammad started getting like jealous that Malcolm X was getting more attention than him.
Yeah.
And like was like maneuvering around that, but...
Well, no, but fascist organizations like do cooperate. I mean, look at World War II. Like World War II is the example of fucking examples, with the exception of Spain. Well, and that's the thing. It's like Spain's fascism was it manifested in a very weird way and was incredibly isolationist. And, you know, didn't end with a bang in the way that Italy and Germany did for fucking obvious reasons. But like it ended when Franco died. Yeah. In 1975.
Which we talked about on episode 1.
Which we did. Yeah. No. Every time the Chiss ascendancy is just Spain. Yeah. Like.
And the Three Kings period.
3 Kingdoms.
3 Kingdoms. I know things. No, I don't.
Three Kings that's Jesus, bro. I don't even study Christians, and I knew that.
I said that and I felt wrong.
But no, it's the fascism is very different. It's just fascism. Do they go into the kind of isolationist bit?
I think it's alluded to briefly when like Karen Farrow says to Thrawn, like, "Oh, these people are from the unknown regions. Do you think they speak the Chiss language?" And Thrawn is like, "No,
absolutely not.
No."
Well, no, and you even kind of get that at the beginning of the first book when Eli's about like, what the fucking Chiss exist? Yeah. These motherfuckers are real?
That's crazy.
Like, in the beginning, you know, if anyone, and not to spoil, but like, okay, so we know the navigators exist. We know that they can get through hyperspace. We know that they get through hyperspace without a computer because like the anomalies they move. So like, there is nothing that is stopping the Ascendancy from going into lesser space. Except for their isolationist like ideology. And we know that and it's been long enough that like Eli and everyone else that they meet are like not even sure these people fucking exist. Which is where you get the like Pantoran with an eye condition thing. Yeah. And I think there are Chiss in the Old Republic like legends stuff. Could be wrong. These people like drawing Chiss OCs of Old Republic stuff on the internet. Which is canon to me. Any fan art. I think I made my point. I don't know though.
About how we know they're isolationist? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, and related to Skywalkers and also related to, I don't know, Eli's role in the Chiss Ascendancy. What he like realizes...
To be thirsty for Vanya.
Well, he's thirsty for Vanya.
That's why he's there.
Is it? Thrawn is like, you're too horny for me. Here's this 22-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, this checks out.
Yep. But it's what I find interesting is that, yeah, like we referenced like Eli's role in like helping the Death Star happen. But also what's interesting is Eli's role in helping the Chiss continue to use child labor to get their ships through hyperspace. Like the mysterious data work that he's doing is trying to figure out how it is that Navigator Vanya, who is 22 years old but still has third sight, aka the ability to navigate through hyperspace, which is unusual because most Chiss girls age out of the ability to navigate through hyperspace by...
We could argue he's trying to get it so they don't use child labor anymore.
Yeah. that is what he's trying to do. I arguably, but he's also like doing what data... It's weirdly... I don't want to call it eugenicist, but I also don't want to not call it that.
Well, that's the problem with Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's the eugenics is built in.
Yeah. It's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah. You get the midichlorians and shit.
Yeah. It's like, how can we... Whatever scenario that led to Navigator Vanya being able to still have third sight at the age of 22, like, how can we replicate that? How can we...
I guess that presumes that it's like entirely a genetic anomaly
Mm-hmm.
and not like a environmental
Yeah.
one, which we aren't privy to.
Not yet. A theory that originated out of a fan fiction, which is a modern AU where basically Order 66 never happened, and then Thrawn comes to the galaxy to be an artist, and then he hangs out with Obi-Wan.
You can just fucking say it.
Yeah, it's the artist is present. The artist is present isn't like a...
Well, no,
I'm trying to be like a...
So go look it up.
Yeah, okay, but it's just like, for context, this is like why all these overlap can happen. Where Obi-Wan like finds out about the Navigators and is like, hey, what the fuck? You ever think that the reason why they lose their force sensitivity or their ability to access it is because you're like working these children to death?
Crazy thing for a Jedi to say.
Yeah, that is a crazy thing for a Jedi to say. But
everybody steals babies.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Stealing babies is okay. We've learned in Star Wars. Not if we're talking about like legitimate themes.
Yeah.
That it's okay to steal babies as long as they're like really good at what they do.
People think Vanto is the genius behind Thrawn's success. How true is this? And I wrote in the notes, is it low-key true if Eli can do numbers and Thrawn can't?
Well, there's that, and then you have Eli seems like a chill dude. Stop being in the Empire. Shake my head. You can do math for the rebellion.
Yeah.
So I have thoughts about both of those. Sorry.
Cool.
Is there anywhere that it says Thrawn can't do math?
No.
Thrawn just can't do people.
Yeah.
Eli arguably also can't really do people.
This is true.
Like, that's what Arlani is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, other than being hot.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's so hot
mm-hmm.
all the time. And...
what is Arlani? Just, like, the one who's good at people?
Yeah, she's really good at people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted you to...
yeah, no, she's great at politics.
Eli and Thrawn are not good at politics.
No, not particularly.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, Thrawn is, like, plain autism.
Mm-hmm.
Eli is, like, math autism.
Mm-hmm.
But then you like, well, the reason nobody can do math in the New Republic.
Yeah.
That's the law.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why he doesn't work for the rebellion. It's because math is illegal.
Math is illegal?
Yes.
What impact does that have on the longevity of the New Republic?
It only lasts like 25 years.
God.
And then Dark Empire happens.
Shit. Maybe if Eli Vanto... yeah, so the heading of this is the TIE Defender program versus the Death Star. I wanted to talk about this sort of looking at like Thrawn's promotion of the TIE Defender program as sort of like an aspect of his characterization, like the fact that his project is a more practical, less of a plan that's just like violence for the sake of spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something that's like well suited to deal with a guerrilla uprising, because a Death Star can only be in one place. But if you have a bunch of TIE Defenders, they can be
that have hyperdrives
and shields and stronger weapons. They can be fucking everywhere. The idea of the Death Star was like, yes, it can explode planets. Yes, it is a weapon, but also it's a symbol. Like in Death Stars and Democracy, like Chris Kemshaw talks about the vision of the Death Star as something that will just keep systems in line and pliant to Imperial rule.
By the threat of Force and not the Force itself.
Exactly. That was sort of Tarkin's approach to dealing with the threat of the rebellion, was to threaten... well, he also used it.
Yes. Allegedly twice, if you like Cassian Andor. Becoming a real Cassian hater.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I will die on no hill for Cassian Andor, but I will die on the 7 hills of Coruscant for Diego Luna. And
kind of miss when you would talk about Diego Luna all the time, Loki.
That came and went so fast.
It was
incessant.
It was so strong.
It was strong, but maybe it'll come back when I see Kiss of the Spider-Woman on Tuesday.
Oh, you want to see it?
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so like the Death Star sort of like it serves as like a symbol for like the Empire's like commitment to weapons of mass destruction despite its critical design flaws. It's a metaphor, see, for I feel like the way the Empire itself is going, which Savit notices, and that's one of the reasons why he like starts doing crime to sabotage it, because like a lot of Savit's inner monologue is like grumbling about the political structure of the Empire and how it's just basically the Republic again of just bloated bureaucrats looking out for their own best interest. And Sheev's there.
Nobody ever mentions the fact that this is just like the Republic because fucking Sheev is there.
The same guy. And it's also, like Kemshal points out, like a reference to America's approach in Vietnam, which I feel like you are better suited for talking about than I am.
I mean, how far back you want me to go? So, and the interesting thing about, like, Vietnam, and I realized that Ho Chi Minh died before America got involved in Vietnam, but Ho Chi Minh was educated in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically went back to Vietnam and he was like, I hate French people. I don't think French Indochina should exist anymore. And then wanted to let the people choose what kind of economic system they wanted to have, which is a noble thing to do. And the United States did not fuck with that. So then they were like, what if we use, Agent Orange and set children on fire and bomb the absolute shit out of it? And then I do think it raises questions of like imperial treatment of veterans. It's like I've always kind of wondered how that functions, because like the way the United States treated Vietnam vets,
fucking terrible.
Many of whom were drafted, and it was like the draft was fucking racist.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was much harder to get out of the draft if you were not white, and arguably the way the United States has always treated veterans has been really bad. But I understand the metaphor. It could also be a metaphor for Korea,
Expand on that.
Well, Korea was kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have thoughts on North Korea. I also have thoughts on South Korea, to be completely honest. I don't think either of them are particularly successful state apparatuses, mostly, but also I hate states. So maybe I'm not the one to be making judgment calls on what is and isn't a successful state.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, the United States goes in. They want to curb Soviet influence. So they just bomb everything to all hell. They use a bunch of biological weapons. You really don't see the Empire using biological weapons, I guess, but they also use them in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Until X-Wing.
Yeah.
Which
the Kratos virus
is just Ebola.
Yeah.
Which was entirely based off of the Ebola outbreak in the 90s. But no, I think, it is an apt comparison. I think you could also compare it to like America's involvement in Afghanistan, or just like kind of the Cold War in general.
Mm-hmm.
My hot take is you can also relate it to China's soft power. TikTok is a very Death Star-esque product.
Mm.
The goal is surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
China's like state apparatus operates off surveillance. Not that other countries don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like Facebook also surveils the ever-loving shit out of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that Facebook in a lot of ways is less addictive than TikTok. Mostly because the UI is garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad. But like TikTok is kind of the perfected way to do propaganda and state surveillance.
Mm-hmm. I feel like TikTok is a lot more effective than the Death Star.
Oh, it's a bubble that's gonna pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like AI. I mean, they scrape data anyway. In the same way that like they tried it with Huawei?
Mm-hmm.
Ended up like the phones were just spyware.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's also not about collecting individual Americans' data. It's about like collecting GPS data.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why government officials aren't allowed to have. That's why there's like no country in the world, including both Singapore and China, where government officials are allowed to have TikTok on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want that state apparatus having access to like where you're doing military exercises or where.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would also argue the Death Star was pretty successful. It blew up a fucking planet and killed billions of people.
Yeah, that's true. But also, I don't know, that's like the interesting, like...
Also, China's a very bloated state.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, no, but that's like sort of like the interesting difference, obviously, between like fiction and real life, is that in fiction, you can sort of like speed run the good guys winning by fast forwarding through the movie, In
real life, there aren't really any good guys.
Yeah.
Everyone sucks.
Yeah.
Us included.
And also like it's easier to like with like fictional death and fictional destruction to like narrativize like the merits of pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the fact that like the Death Star blew up Alderaan, and or that in service of creating the Death Star, they did the Gorman genocide. Like Luthen said, yes, Gorman will burn, but it will burn very brightly. Like these were flashpoints for galvanizing the rebellion.
It's like, look at the No Kings protests.
Yeah, what about them?
Trump is like too ostentatious and people fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Even people who voted for him fucking hate it.
Yeah.
No, but it was like in larger cities, they counted it was like millions more people than the people that had shown up in July.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like people are pissed.
Yeah, that's promising, I guess.
They using the military on American citizens, which is against the law.
It is against the law.
Very against the law.
Say it louder for the people in the back. Yeah,
very illegal.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of that just sort of like reminds me of like what like Leia says to Tarkin on the Death Star. It's like, yeah, you can like keep like tightening your grip even harder, but people are just gonna then work even harder to slip out of that grasp because fuck you, you know. Whereas like that sort of imperial urge to like just bludgeon like people into submission like backfires spectacularly. And where like in this book, Thrawn is sort of set apart from that sort of indiscriminate violent urge through his general actions and also like his promotion of the TIE Defender program. Because like that as I said, like that is like a weapons program that is well suited for dealing with guerrilla warfare, but also like probably would,
I think it's cheaper.
It's cheaper and also would.
Well, no. Okay, so when we finished the Thrawn trilogy and we were talking about the depictions of Thrawn and the popular consciousness among, I guess, Star Wars fans, is that people have these really warped understandings of him where they like think that he wouldn't do terrible things. And it's like he would, but ultimately his goal is not the preservation of empire. The goal is the preservation of the ascendancy and the preservation of self.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, Shiva's like, you gotta go get a 17-year-old boy,
mm-hmm.
very sneaky one.
Mm-hmm.
He's very small because he was malnourished. He can crawl through vents.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to get him under any circumstances necessary. Like, I just think at that point, and I realized that couldn't happen because Rebels already happened.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebels concluded like a year
mm-hmm.
before this book came out. Maybe. The least amount of time, like 6 months. But,
mm-hmm.
and that's a story, you know, that Zahn didn't write. Like, and arguably wasn't really consulted on at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that situation, that is a situation in which someone like Thrawn would probably just fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, fucking Sheev and Darth Vader can read minds, but like...
They struggle to read Thrawn's mind because of like...
Yeah, like it's... Yeah, just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Take your fucking crew and dip out.
Yeah.
Which is just the hand of Thrawn, I guess.
Yeah.
But... and it's not that he's not evil. It's just that, like, that's a waste of time and energy.
Yeah.
It's not very, like...
It's not very efficient to, like, bomb the planet where you have a factory.
Even if that factory is destroyed, because the people who know how to make your planes live on that planet.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we're literally talking about a 17-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There were, under no circumstances is it considered a good move.
To bomb a city to get one singular 17-year-old boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's not very smart.
And it's also not very smart, because I feel like, yeah, like, Thrawn, like, doesn't understand politics, but I do think he, like, does understand, like, cause and effect in terms of, like, the optics.
Yeah. But Thrawn seemingly understands optics.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, this is probably not a very good idea.
Not a good look. Not good propaganda to glass a city and kill children to get one child. Yeah, and so what's interesting is that I feel like in like Thrawn sort of like assuming that like, well, this is an empire that like wants to be strong, you know, and like Thrawn wants the empire to be strong so that like the empire can intervene or like stand strong against the Grisks. He calculated that like him spending his energy in the empire would be the
help
best
in that cause.
Yeah, it would be like the best vessel for his plans to save the universe, basically.
The galaxy. The galaxy.
The galaxy. And it's really funny to me because like at the end of the first book, he says to the emperor that he hopes his skills do not end up being subverted for destruction, domination, or expansion, which is like so naive that it's fucking funny. Because at the end of the book, that book, he's like sent into like, well, he doesn't do this. It was a Renda Price, but like that ends with just miners on strike getting bombed, you know?
This is what happens every time miners go on strike, obviously.
Yeah. But it's just sort of like, my friend, do you not think that was also your skills being usurped for destruction? Like, what? And yeah, the empire should have funded the Defender program if it wanted to survive. I think, and no matter what the personal and political interests of the people involved were. And like it's kind of crazy that like these two really powerful people in the Empire, like Palpatine, the Emperor, and Tarkin, like were okay with determining the fate of like an important military program based on like a wager of like whether or not their token blue guy could kill some space Minox. I don't know.
No, and it's like, okay, well, if the Emperor is too short-sighted.
Crazy, since he can see the future.
Yeah, since he can literally a Sith, literally can read people's minds. Most people diversify their portfolios.
Yeah.
And if you're physically incapable of doing that, maybe you shouldn't
be an emperor.
Reconsider
your career path, Sheev Palpatine.
Maybe Vader's right. Maybe someone needs to take you out.
Yeah.
Not that I think that Vader is going to be any better.
Nah.
But he would just leave the running of the government to his subordinate while he cried about the wife he murdered.
Yeah.
The Star Wars the films are for adolescents. Rebels is obviously Y7 rated. Clone Wars was TVPG. Bad Batch is TVPG. There's another one. There's another cartoon. I don't remember which one though. So it does not matter. But like, okay, no, I made you watch the Cad Bane Tales episodes, right?
Maybe.
Where he like gets a girl pregnant and then fucks off and then his best friend raises his son. Oh my god, I know what we're watching.
Oh boy.
As soon as this is over. And then he like kills his childhood best friend who raised his son
What show is this?
It's Tales in the Underworld, maybe?
Alright.
Yeah. And it's like, that's okay. So you can discuss the complexities of baby mama drama and like raising another man's child, you know, but you can't discuss the complexities of fascism to children and how that's bad.
Yeah. Or like the complexities of like, sometimes fascists will rule with a smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like make choices that you deem to be acceptable. That does not mean that every choice they make is acceptable or that they are doing the right thing.
Yeah. Just because, like, Thrawn, like, technically has, like, a noble cause. Like, it doesn't make any of what he does okay. And also, like, I would argue that, like, in placing his bets on, like, the strength of the Empire, like, he miscalculates, like, what the Empire is. Because I don't think he, like, takes into account that the Empire would ultimately only care about spectacle and destruction over practical matters.
Which is not to say that, like, empires in the past were complex and, like, did good things. I mean, like, look at how Rome fell. Look at how Japan fell. Look at the Nazis. You know, they weren't making great decisions. No.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Yeah. Well, they weren't good.
No, they weren't good. And also, doing a land invasion of Russia in the winter is stupid.
Yeah, very dumb. Holocaust also, A, morally abhorrent. B, not very smart.
No. Let's talk about the stupidity of scapegoating and genocide. Well,
yeah. We can do that.
We can do that.
Some other time.
Yeah.
We got more books. We got like 500 books.
Oh my god.
That we can pick from. We could do this for the rest of our lives.
I know.
Oh damn! I forgot to say that Minnesota and Sibisti were the common languages of trade in wild space, which makes them just the Latin or Hebrew of Star Wars.
Well,
I said it.
You said it. Do you want to say it in a way that would make sense with when I said the Karen Farrow?
We don't got time for that.
Okay. One thing that's funny, just like in terms of like the sartorial expressions of the people who work on the Stardust Project, is that they all wear capes. And I found it really funny the way that Krennic's cape and Brierly Ronan's cape were discussed in this book. And I feel like they sort of somewhat serve as a metaphor for like the spectacle of the Death Star, in that like they're just sort of like a useless addition that like, but that is, you know, still pretty effective at like demonstrating power.
But it's very Vader coded.
It's very Vader coded.
Because maybe they want Vader as the attack dog. And they want to kind of embody that ideal, which I would say is not an ideal, because everybody hates Vader.
Yeah.
Because he's like some schizo crank who has no limbs. But rip to Anakin Skywalker. But I had never, maybe that is like one of the connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also kind of like an out-of-universe connection, because like we know that Vader ultimately ends up being at the helm of the Death Star, but like that wasn't always the plan, as we learn in this book.
Yeah.
It being Thrawn's idea, like, hey, what if you put Vader on the Death Star? Haha.
It's totally not Anakin Skywalker, but I said that in my head, even though I know that Vader can read minds, and that he heard me say that.
Yep.
What?
The wife killer says what? Yeah. And then like we see like Savit's perspective on the cape, Let me just Command F cape so I can see all of them. I say cape 35 times in my doc. But yeah, when Savit meets Brierly Ronan, when Savit's like walking Thrawn to his shuttle to take him to the Chimera, Ronan catches up with them. Savit turns around. He thinks to himself, mentally, Savit shook his head. He knew of Krennic's pompous affectation regarding that long cape of his. He hadn't realized the director had foisted the same nonsense onto his senior staff. And Savit's such a hater and it's really funny. But also, like,
he sees the writing on the wall.
Yeah. And also, this is another thing that, like, is really interesting to talk about that we can just, like, touch on briefly.
Because it really seems like all of the Grand Admirals, like, hate the
each
fucking
other.
Death Star.
Yeah, or hate the, yeah.
Hate each other, obviously.
Yeah.
But they all
like,
join together in their hatred of Tarkin.
Yeah.
Who's not a fucking military man.
No, he's
a Moff.
He's a Moff.
Krennic, not a military man.
Nope.
It's kind of similar to the way that countries that go through really violent regime change or have a dictator or someone who wants to be a dictator rise to power is that the military guys, even if they are supposed to be an apolitical force, you know, to each other will be like, this guy's a fucking crank.
Yeah, like, get a load of this guy.
Yeah.
He brought all of the United States generals into one room.
I was not trying to call out anybody specifically because
I know.
Against my will, have to go home in December.
That sucks. I also have to go home, but I'm going through a land border.
I like that you bolded the long cape and the flowing cape and the flowing white cape.
I bolded and italicized it. Get it right.
My fucking bad.
And then the other thing that I thought was fun is, like, the cape is talked about throughout the book, and then ultimately the cape is used in a climactic scene as a weapon. So it's like Chekhov's cape. I thought that was fun.
It's kind of based.
But yeah, it's like still, like, we do get like a good glimpse of like how the military is suspicious of the ISB. The ISB thinks the military is kind of stupid. The military doesn't fuck with the Death Star project, and one of the assistant directors on the Death Star project fucking hates the Emperor. Like, that sort of just the political beefs between
everybody hates each other and no one's having fun.
Yeah, it's really funny.
But like, low-key, everyone hates the Emperor.
Yeah. They're like, who's this wizard?
They're like, who is this guy?
He just seems to like chaos.
17-year-old boys.
What's with that?
And torturing that poor disabled man.
Yeah.
Who's really mean to all of us. Probably because he's in a plastisteel suit.
Yeah, that would do it.
And he has no limbs. I guess nobody knows he has no limbs, but I would just assume that he would not have limbs if he's in the goddamn suit. No, but they do all hate each other, and I find that really funny.
Yeah.
And I wish we got more of that.
Me too.
And, like, I guess that's ultimately my beef with Rebels.
Yeah,
they show Orinda and Thrawn's beef, but, like, not in a way that matters.
No.
To be completely honest.
Yeah, everyone in the Empire seems to get along.
At least kind of.
Yeah.
And even when they don't get along, like, the ones that don't get along are quickly funneled out.
Mm-hmm.
In the case of, like, Callus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, like, I don't know, one way that was in this book, like, the interesting depiction of these bitches being catty to each other is when assistant director Brierly Ronan comes onto the Chimera and Thrawn greets him and says, "Oh, would you prefer to be addressed as Colonel?" Because he also has Ronan also has a military title. And Ronan says, "Either is acceptable." And Thrawn says, but which do you prefer? I assume the military rank is largely honorary. Which, bitch. Like, of course it is, but, like, I feel like he could have just kept calling him assistant director Ronan and it wouldn't have been a thing.
No, because we have to be 15-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's like, oh, did you earn that? I bet you didn't.
Oh my god, I'm literally blue and I'm a Grand Admiral.
Yeah. And then Ronan says, well, yes, it's an honorary title, but it's quite necessary to my work. You'd be surprised how many in the Imperial military refuse to take civilians and civilian orders seriously. And Thrawn says, I doubt I would be surprised at all. Which, to me, I feel like was Thrawn being like, yeah, no, I don't take you seriously.
Well, it's that, and then it's also the Mara Leia.
Mm.
Oh my god, my life is so bad. Nobody has, woe is me. The fall of the Empire ruined my life worse than anyone else in the entire galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, Jan. Watched her planet be blown up.
Yeah.
Was probably tortured.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're like, oh my god, nobody takes me seriously because, like, I don't like whatever. You're talking to the only non-human Grand Admiral, and if we're willing to suspend disbelief, because back to my point where I think the Empire needs to be a human supremacist organization, like the only alien of note in the entire Imperial Navy. Do you think he doesn't know anything about people not taking him fucking seriously?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Pharaoh and Savit, as you mentioned earlier, were literally like, oh my god, do you think it was Eli?
Yeah.
Like, no, obviously this man has experience with people not taking him fucking seriously.
Yeah. No.
He doesn't take you seriously, but also, like,
you're stupid.
He's kind of doing the oppression Olympics a little bit and winning.
No, because it just reminds me of like a scene in the second book when Thrawn and Vader are working together, like early in their journey. Vader like rebukes something that Thrawn says, and Thrawn smiles to himself, and Vader's like, something fucking funny to you? And Thrawn says, well, no, it's really nice that your beef with me is because you disagree with what I said, not because you disagree with me existing. That's nice.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, no.
Even Thrawn's a Margaret Thatcher.
Everyone's Margaret Thatcher.
No, because that's the thing, is like you have these women and they are pretty heavily discriminated against in their careers, especially when you're talking like back in the fucking 60s. And they do have to work 5 times as hard as everybody around them.
Yeah.
To achieve the same things. Which then just makes them evil.
Yeah. No.
Like, and more evil than their male counterparts. Because they have to be more evil to be taken seriously.
Yeah. They have to prove something. That, like, they should be at the table. One thing I wanted to say, because this, I feel like, a good, I don't know, matches the framework of the book. The book ends with, like, Timothy Zahn, like, he has, the dedication at this book is at the very end. And it says, for all who have ever had to consider the cost of doing the right thing. I don't understand what that means in the context of this particular story. Does that frame what is done in this book as, like, any semblance of the right thing?
I mean, Sabit's kind of doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But for a petty reason. And I guess saying, for all that have had to weigh the cost, that doesn't necessarily mean you pick to do the correct thing.
Yeah.
It just means that you might have done the incorrect thing, because it could also just be a dig. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. The dedications in these books have been interesting.
Okay, well, that was our arguably incredibly long but not very academic discussion of, not that it needs to be academic.
Yeah.
The whole point is that we're not doing dissertations on this.
We are not, because I want to keep liking these books.
Yeah, I like my job. I like what I study.
Me too.
I do not think I'd like to study Star Wars. But our very not intellectual conversation of Thrawn Treason. Do you have any last thoughts?
Free Eli? No, I don't.
Okay, so we're chilling.
Yeah.
Well, next time, start the Ascendancy Trilogy.
We're going to go to the Ascendancy.
We're going to the Chiss Ascendancy. It's going to be swag.
We're going to see how Thrawn got this way, maybe. Was he always like this?
Yeah, always science. See, you gotta...
He's always just...
No, we're going to go to the Ascendancy. We're going to see what's up there. Yeah, so Chaos Rising.
Chaos Rising. Well, if you've gotten this far, thank you.
Our music is by Thomas Seibel, and our art is by our glorious leader, Lenny Apesos.
Yep. I'm sorry the Bothans are bad, but it's okay.
Check us out on Substack and Bluesky, even though we don't really post there.
Yeah.
Have you started posting?
No, I'm scared. Also, my phone only started working this week.
Okay, well, yeah, now we have working phones again.
Yay!
So we're going to start posting on Bluesky.
And I have thoughts about I have thoughts about Ezra Bridger's slingshot.
Okay, well, we'll see you next time. Unfortunately, I know for a fact there's no Bothans in Chaos Rising, but we'll have a good time. We'll talk about more fascism. Different flavor. It's blue raspberry. Blue raspberry isn't real. It's just blue. Yeah, that was like a fucked up joke. Blue fascism. Yeah.